day everyone, I am Henrick and I am now taking the degree of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Science. I am third year section D and today is April 5 in the evening. I am here to discuss all about anatomy and physiology or what have been discussed in our module 1 by our professor, Ma'am Jola. And let's proceed. To begin with our discussion, I will now first define what is anatomy and physiology. So, what is anatomy and physiology? It says anatomy and physiology are one of the most prominent and crucial subjects of medical and nursing education, and also in our major, which is science. Without studying these essential topics, there will be no doctors, no nurse, or physician can work and function in the medical healthcare sector. And even the teacher, they will know knowledge about teaching what is anatomy or what about the physiology. I will define individually what is anatomy and physiology. Let's start with the anatomy. So, it tells anatomy is basically the study of structure, framing, and the relation between body parts, while the physiology, on the other hand, is the branch of medical science that deal with the study of functions of body part as a whole. So, in these two different subjects or two different terms, there have the similarities that they're all about studying the human body parts or the human body function or the body of a human. And now, let's talk about the importance of the anatomy and physiology. Anatomy and physiology will give you an insight into the complex nature of the human body and the countless different systems that make it up. We all know that our body has a lot of different systems, like the nervous system, digestive system, respiratory system, and etc. Yes, it's crucial for medicine because as a doctor, nurse, or physician, you're the one who handling the life of a person. And through studying and working in the field, you'll be helping to improve other people's health and well-being. Now, let's proceed for the first topic of anatomy and physiology, which is the 4 basic reference system of body organization. The first reference is directional terms. These terms are essential for describing the relative location of different body structures. For instance, anatomists might describe one hand of tissues as inferior to another, or a physician might describe a tumor as superficial to a deeper body structure. Commit this term to memory to avoid confusion when you are studying or describing the location of particular body parts. So it's very important for some professions that in the medicine field, they must familiar in these directional terms to avoid confusion. And next is the second reference, which is plane. Plane is an imaginary two-dimensional surface that passes through the body. There are 3 planes commonly referred into anatomy and medicine. And that is the sagittal planes divides the body or an organ vertically into the right and left sides. If these vertical planes run directly down the middle of the body, it is called the mid-sagittal or medial plane. If it divides the body into an equal right and left sides, it is called the parasagittal plane or less commonly a longitudinal section. And next is the frontal plane. Divides the body or an organ into an anterior front portion, which is the front portion, and the posterior, which is the rear portion. The frontal plane is often referred into the coronal plane, and that word is from the Latin word corona, which means crown. And the transverse or horizontal plane divides the body or organ horizontally into upper and lower portion. Transverse planes produce image referred to as cross sections. The third reference is about cavities. The body maintains its internal organization by means of membranes, sheaths, and other structures that separates from compartments. The main cavities of the body include the cranial, thoracic, and abdominopelvic, also known as the peritoneal cavities. And lastly, the fourth reference is the structural units. There are 4 structural units. First is cell. What is cell? Cells are the basic structural or functional unit of all life. We all know about that. An example of this is red blood cell and nerve cells. Second is the tissue. Tissues are a group of cells that share a common structure and function and work together. There are 4 types of human tissues: connective, which connects tissues; epithelial, which lines to protect organs; muscles, which contract for movements and support; nerve, which respond and reacts to signal in the environment. And the third is the organs. Organs are a group of the tissues arranged in a specific manner to support a common physiological function. Example include the brain, liver, and the heart. And the last is the organ system. Organ system are 2 or more organs that support a specific physiological function. Example is include the digestive system, the central nervous system, and there are 11 organ systems in the human body. Now, let's talk about the function of the integumentary system. What is the function of this? It consists of the skin, hair, and nails. Function of the integumentary system include providing protective covering for the body, sensing the environment, helping the body maintain the homeostasis. And that's how it helps in our body. So, without this, our body will be in danger. And the skin consists of two distinct layers. One is a thinner outer layer called epidermis, and the second is the thicker inner layer called the dermis. Our skin helps us to protect in that very dangerous thing like the microorganism, the UV light, and some hot temperature. Our hair in our body have the function to protect us from danger. Hair all over the body provides tactile sensory input. Nails also consist mainly of dead keratinocytes. I will tackle about how our wound heal. There are 4 overlapping phases how the wound heal. First is an initial response to maintain homeostasis. Upon wounding, the first phase of the wound response is concerned with maintaining homeostasis within the body. Most wounds, even superficial shallow wounds, result in damage to the circulatory system. To prevent blood loss and reduce the chance of infection spreading throughout the body, circulation platelets within the blood begin form a fibrin clot which seal the wound site. The second phase is an inflammatory response to prevent infection. Immune cells such as neutrophils and macrophages are attracted by factors released from the wound site and begin to accumulate traveling through the circulatory system. These cells are responsible for the removals of the debris and killing of bacteria that easily colonize the wound site. The third phase is a proliferative phase to reconstitute the wound site. The proliferative phase can itself be divided into 4 phases. In the case of shallow wounds, the first 2 steps may not occur. And the last phase in healing the wound is a remodeling phase where tissue strength and functions are restored. For the last topic in our discussion, we will discuss the homeostasis. Homeostasis refers to the body's ability to maintain a stable internal environment, regulating hormones, body temperature, water balance, and etc. Maintaining homeostasis requires that the body continuously monitor its internal conditions. It tells that homeostasis is very important in all living organisms, from plants to animals to us as a people. We must regulate our internal environment to process energy and ultimately survive. So now, I will give you some example of disorder where the homeostasis is not been stable in the integumentary system. Melanoma. A melanoma is a cancer characterized by the uncontrolled growth of melanocytes, the pigments producing cells in the epidermis. Typically, a melanoma develops from a mole. It is the most fatal of all skin cancers as it is highly metastatic and can be difficult to detect before it has spread to other organs. And next is acne. So, an acne is a skin disturbance that typically occurs on areas that skin that are rich in sebaceous gland, which is the oil glands. So guys, before I end our discussion, I have some trivia about human anatomy and physiology. Do you know that our heart is a hollow muscle and about the same size of our fist? And do you know that our heart beat 100,000 times in a day? And now you know. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned a lot from our discussion and hope to see you again, guys. Thank you for listening and goodbye.